What's up, everybody? Matt Mandu from Headwaters Adventure Company, and I'm having technical difficulties. I apologize. So we have a camera, but it's going through the computer, so we're just going to roll with it. I think I got a bunk cord. Anyways, so we went to Almanor last weekend, and I got to say, it's a beautiful lake, and it's set up really, really well for the type of fishing that I would like to do. Not that the fish were eating it while we were there, but there was a lot of flats, and so you could fish a vast range of, I would say, 5, 6 foot to probably 15 foot. So it'd be a great crankbait lake when that bite started. But we went out there, there was 5 of us all together, and we didn't do particularly well. Everybody caught fish. Everybody caught 1 fish at least, and then Colton blew the roof off, and he caught 5 fish. But 4 of them were catfish. He caught 4 catfish drop shotting out there, which was pretty cool. They looked to be bullheads, but they were biting better than the bass apparently. I myself caught 1, lost 1. Paul out there, he caught a nice one. And Rick and James caught fish as well. So everybody caught at least 1 fish. It was definitely funky, and I don't know if that was because of the weather. The water temperature was in the low 60s, so something that the smallmouth should have been spawning in. We didn't see any beds. We did have cloud cover, so it wasn't a bed fishing bite. My one that I caught and lost came off of the same general area, so I think they may have been. I know I could see a couple bloody marks on them, but I can't say for sure. It was very, very slow. Like I said, Colton got his bass and 4 catfish, all drop shotting on an X Zone lure, and it's a little, I believe it was a 3 1/4 inch drop shot worm of some sort, and I got mine on a small swim bait on an Okashira head, which is a megabass bait that has a spinning collar that's offset on it. So it puts a lot of wobble in the bait as well as the swimming and a little bit of flash. I really, really like that bait when the going gets tough. That's kind of my go-to. So I picked that up and threw it for a while. Generally, I'd say my go-to is a jig, and I just was not feeling like that was going to be the bite. So after I got hit a couple times on that, I kept to it. James, I think, caught his fish on the same thing. Rick caught it on a jig, and then Paul was throwing a classic underspin. And we were throwing all small baits. 3-inch baits roughly is what we were getting bit on, but it was very slow. I had 1 other follower to the boat. I know a couple of the other guys had a follower to the boat, but none of the guys on bass boats were doing much good, and it kind of seemed the same thing across the board. Whether that was weather dependent, I don't know. I'm sure that lake is going to be awesome. Really hard bottom. There was a little bit of grass here and there, but I think it's going to be a phenomenal crankbait lake when that water does turn over and when those fish decide to start feeding. Quality-wise, I think James might have got the smallest one, but everything else was, I think, between 16 and 18 inches. So they were really nice, solid, very, very pretty smallmouth bass. Definitely a place I'm going to go back to and hopefully meet you guys out there as well. We did have some friends of the shop fishing Shasta. The bite there is up and down, but we did have one of our customers. He showed me a picture of a 3.5 and a 4.5 pound spot that he caught out there. Small topwaters, very small topwaters. So whether it was time and place or the bait specifically, that's what it was caught on. I don't know the bait. All I know is it was a small topwater. But the water temperature out there is rising. Depending on how shallow you get, you could find some absolutely warm water. There's fish spawning out in the Salt Creek area. So there are fish on beds out there. Depending on what part of the lake you're on, they're either in spawn mode or post-spawn. I'm sure there's still some in pre-spawn, but a lot of the fish are in that stage of their reproductive cycle, either having already laid eggs or on beds now, but they're off the beds, they're looking to feed up. So it's a good time to catch some nice fish. We had another guy go out today, and he didn't catch very many, but did get a bite on a big wake bait, which is always exciting. And then also small swim baits. Again, you can't go wrong with Shasta and small swim baits. Trinity, on the other hand, Trinity is still fishing well. The water clarity over there isn't great right now, or at least the visibility isn't with the overcast weird weather that we've been having, but there are plenty of fish on beds, smallmouth and largemouth alike. You can catch them dirt shallow right now. The water is rising. They are starting to hold some of that water in the lake, so that is awesome to hopefully have that full soon. But Trinity Lake is still fishing well. If you're looking for bigger fish, it is a great place to go. Still, Shasta is probably a better place for quantity, but quality, definitely check out Trinity. Also, Lake Britain is slow right now, but you are able to pick up some nicer smallmouth, but the fishing is not hot and heavy there yet. We did try trout fishing on the river this weekend, and I personally did not pick any up, but from what I've been seeing is they are catching some nice fish. You just have to put the time in and figure out where they're holding now that the river is fluctuating again. So now it's back down to 10,000 CFS where it was between 13 and 15. So it's got these fish, I wouldn't say acting weird, but it's definitely positioning them differently. So where you might catch them one day, if they decrease or increase the flows, it's going to move them from that spot potentially into another spot. Generally, the higher it goes, the more shallow or not shallow, but more towards the edges of the banks you'll find them. But just something to keep in mind, if you can, do check the flows, because as those change, it is going to reposition your fish. So just to keep a consistent bite, it's definitely something to think about. But right now, everywhere has the potential to be good. It really is varying lake to lake. I know of one person who's been fishing Whiskeytown and catching some excellent fish. Not many, but really nice fish on glide baits. So something to think about right now, those post-spawn and pre-spawn fish, depending on your lake. A big meal is going to be something you can catch a really big fish on right now. If they're spawning and you can't see them, fish slowly, go to those places where you think and know there will be beds, and fish like you are coming across the bed. A little bit slower. If you get bit and miss it, get back in there, try it again. If you get bit again, you're on a bed. Keep playing with that fish. Alternate baits. Go from a larger or a standard size bait to something small. Generally on that smaller bait, you can pick them up. But if there's one bed in the area, there's probably more. So just be conscious. Be thinking while you're out there. It is, bass fishing, and we like to try to dial it in to catch as many fish as possible, and it can be done right now. It's the time of year. For somehow, some way, we have spring in Redding, which is unheard of. So we're still in the 80s. We still had rain a couple days ago. We're supposed to be getting rain this evening in overcast weather. So it's just different from most years. The fish are there. The fish are biting. You just have to figure out where and when, and that's something that you can really only figure out with time on the water. But highly recommend going out there, just because this is a time of year where you can catch the quality and catch the quantity. Especially if you're looking to get into it, Shasta is an excellent place to go. Get some confidence in some baits, catch a few fish. Generally, they're going to be smaller. If you have a way to get out to some of the other lakes with the bigger fish, I highly recommend it, because now's the time when you can get your PB, whether you're throwing big baits or standard size baits. Big fish eat small baits. My biggest fish ever came off of a trick worm. It's not a big lure. So get out there. If anybody's got any questions, let me know. It's a pretty short video tonight. I will say that our next fishing meetup is going to be in the Delta. So I know it's a drive for a lot of you that are up here, but if you want to make it down, the Delta can be a pain. I know a lot of people love it. I know a lot of people hate it. Tidal body of water. I love it. I'm on that side. I've had my rough days out there, but I can't wait to get back out there. And if you can make it, please do come down and join us. It's going to be awesome, hopefully. And if not, get to check out a new place, catch some fish, hopefully a big one. The Delta does hold giants. But I just can't wait to get back out there and fish the way that I like to fish. Chatterbaits, swim jigs, frog fishing. My personal favorite, hopefully square bill bite. But we're going to be out there at, I believe it was the 25th. I do have to check the calendar. You can look at the calendar on our website, headwatersadventure.com. Go under calendar, look under June, and it should say on, I believe it's the 25th, where we're going, what time we're meeting, and all that good stuff. So if you can, please do make it out there with us. We've been getting consistently around 5 people to each meetup. It's going to get better. I'll hopefully have more stuff for giveaways if we can tempt any of you out. But we really just want to get people together and fish. There's a lot of people out there who don't have people to go fish with, or just a little intimidated going out by themselves. So come with us, gain some confidence, and get out on the water. It is going to be a great year. We've got a lot of water. The fishing is going to be phenomenal. So until further ado, if nobody's got any questions, which I know was pretty short and simple tonight, get out there, go fish, and stay fishy, my friends. We will see you next time. And don't forget to come in the shop for any of your tackle needs. We are doing 30% off of our Abu Garcia reels that we have in stock right now. So if you're in need for a new reel, we've got a handful of them left. We're trying to sell this last generation one to get in the new generations, but we still have quite a few. So if you need a new reel, 30% off of Abu Garcia, come on in, and we will see you soon.